Welcome to lesson 4 of chapter 2, where we are dealing with measurements. And this is section 1, areas of rectangles and composite shapes, right? Now, we would have examined before the area of a rectangle. So as stated before, the area of a rectangle is L by B, meaning its length by its breadth, right? It has two sides, two parallel sides. One of the parallel sides multiplied by the length of another one of the parallel sides would give you the area of a rectangle. Sometimes, though, we have more than one rectangle in a shape, or maybe a rectangle and a square, rectangle and a triangle, something like that. A shape may be made up of several shapes that we can identify, right? So in this case, we call it a composite shape. So if you get a composite shape or a shape with several shapes that you can identify and separate it into, it's called a composite shape, and you can divide it into more than one rectangle or more than one shape, as the case may be. So let's look at our example. So in our example, we are asked to find the area of this shape. Clearly, this shape, well, it's like an upside down L, but clearly you could separate it into two rectangles. You could either do it this way by separating it across here, or you could opt to do it as I have done by separating it by putting the line here. So we have two rectangles, and it doesn't matter which way you choose, you're going to get the same area. So let's call this rectangle 1, and let's call this rectangle 2. So what is the area of rectangle 1? We know area of a rectangle is length by breadth. So one side of this parallel, of these parallel lines, is 5 centimeters. So let's call that the length, and let's call the 2 centimeters across this way its breadth. So it's 5 multiplied by 2. 5 twos are 10 centimeters squared. So the area of rectangle 1 is 10 centimeters squared. Let us find the area of rectangle 2. Now that one is a little bit more complicated because we don't have the breadth on this side. So let's say the length is 2 centimeters. That's here, right? So let's say the length is 2 centimeters. What about its breadth? We don't have, they did not say what the length of this is here, and then we cut it here. Now, we could deduce, and that's the power of composite shapes. You have to learn how to deduce what the length is because you have all the information you need. Because if this entire length here is 6 centimeters, right? And this piece that I'm cutting out from it via this dotted line is 2 centimeters. Therefore, the length of the remaining piece will be 6 minus 2, which is 4 centimeters. So the breadth of the rectangle 2 is 4 centimeters, and 4 twos are 8. So the area of the rectangle 2 is 8 centimeters long. So the entire area of the composite shape, area of composite shape will be equal to the area of rectangle 1 added to the area of rectangle. Hopefully we could fit that there too. Right? So the area of rectangle 1 is 10 centimeters squared, and the area of rectangle 2 is 8 centimeters squared. So the total area is 10 plus 8, which is 18 centimeters squared. And that is how we can find the area of composite shapes.